So you mentioned GenAI a couple times there, and like some of this, I'm sure, gets into like NLP too, when you're able to convert some of those questions into SQL prompts and interact with your data. But you
Yeah.
talked about like a good prompt and focusing on like what is a good prompt, like in a world where GenAI is helping you interpret complex customer data, whether it's customer surveys or sitting on top of the warehouse. Like, what do you think makes a good prompt?
Yeah. Um, Good question. First of all, um, you know what SQL stands for?
The structured query language.
Yes, that's right. Not everyone knows that. A lot of people think the S is standard. And the reason I ask the question is the English language doesn't have that very important structure that,
Mm,
yeah, I mean, like if someone says, how's my business doing? Like that's a question that somebody might ask, but it gives you none of the structure that you would need. If you were to try to
yeah,
turn that into SQL, good luck,
yeah,
right? And so I think that, look, inside of ConvertML, what we've done is we have certain offerings that are well structured analytical processes, right? There's 12 steps to the process. Step one is this, step two is this, step three is this. And a lot of those are just data operations that if you know what to do, it's actually pretty straightforward. But then you get to step, let's say 7 or 8. And at step 7 or 8, you actually have to look at the data and interpret the data. And you have to like name a segment or describe a segment or what, like you have to actually interpret it and say, what is it saying? And this is where historically, like humans would go. But again, if this is something that generative AI does fairly well, if the prompt is well constructed. So what we've been doing at ConvertML is we've been combining kind of well-established, reliably good statistical operations with these prompts that take care of the human interpretation part, right? So there's automation of advanced statistics plus well constructed, well crafted prompts or well engineered prompts that get you from the start of the process to the end. Now, that's part of the secret sauce and what's under the hood at ConvertML. Uh, but people don't need to use ConvertML. I mean, you can write your own prompts. The problem is the lack of structure in the English language. I mean, that's where I started my answer to your question,
mm,
because if people are just kind of writing their own questions, it's up to them to provide enough context and enough information for generative AI to have any idea what to do. And so, I think about generative AI as an extremely eager, but totally inexperienced new hire fresh out of college, right? They'll work all night long and they'll generate anything you ask, but they have no idea if it's right. And they have no experience to build on, right?
yeah.
So it's up to you as the person asking the question or assigning the task. It's up to you to give them the guardrails and to give them the guidance about, hey, this is the form I'm looking for. This is how to treat, null values, or this is how to, you know. So unfortunately, maybe it's fortunately for some, but unfortunately for most average users, crafting a good data related prompt requires you to do the thinking. You have to have some real rigor around it. And it's more than I think we can ask of every user out there. People are going to ask unsophisticated questions, not like thumbing their nose at the world. They just don't have the experience or the technical skill to do it. And that's fine. But again, that's part of the reason why there's a gap in the world. There's a ConvertML shaped, sort of void in the world. And that's what we're filling, right? By giving people kind of pre-built prompts that they can access in intuitive ways. And then all of the correct operations with well-engineered prompts that can support and give them meaningful output. But regular users can do it too. They just have to know what they're doing and they have to know how to use generative AI. Not everyone ticks both of those boxes.